In our news bulletin for this evening, Japan recognizes Niue as a nation and looks to strengthen ties with the Pacific leading up to the Palm 7 meeting. The new primary school site construction continues with aims to be completed by the start of the new school year in 2016. Niue police build their capacity to handle domestic violence cases. Niue has been recognized and added as one more country to Japan's map of the world as a Pacific Island nation, making it the 195th country Tokyo has recognized. Japan's Foreign Minister Fumio Kishida said that Japan has decided to exercise diplomatic recognition in an attempt to strengthen cooperation with Niue in the international sphere. Niue has benefited from a number of training opportunities and funding from Japan in the past, but this official recognition signifies that the world's third largest economy is trying to strengthen its influence in the South Pacific. Within the next few days, leaders from the Pacific are attending the 7th Palm meeting, a forum hosted by Japan every 3 years since 1997. The slogan for this meeting highlights Japan's commitment to building a prosperous future together. The 7th Pacific Islands Leaders Meeting theme is We Are Islanders, commitment to the Pacific from Iwaki, Fukushima, building prosperous future together. The meeting openly discusses issues that Pacific Island countries are facing in order to build closer cooperative relationships and forge a bond of friendship between Japan and the Pacific Island countries. Construction and developments at the new Niue Primary School site at Paliasi is on target to be completed by the new school year in 2016. The Australian government has provided aid to Niue for this project through a delegated cooperation arrangement with New Zealand. This project has taken a few years to get off the ground, while the tripartite parties to the agreement clarify their responsibilities and obligations. We spoke to the New Zealand High Commissioner about the progress made to date.
Look, we're very pleased with the progress that ARA are making with the school project. I think that you would have seen for yourself that we're well advanced. The team are working well towards the schedule that they've got. The Niuean labour contribution is working really well, as are the Niuean carpenters that we have on the project. So we have a good mixture of labour there, and it's working very effectively. We've gone the extra mile and taken those involved in the education sector up to the school project so they have a view of what their new school will look like and how they'll be able to use their new school and how effective it will be in providing a superior standard of quality education for the students that go to that school. So those involved in the education sector are well across it. Others, when we get to the opening date, of course, prior to that, we'll have an opportunity to see what the new school is all about. I'm sure that the Parent Teachers Association will be involved in all of that, so everybody will get an opportunity to view it and to see how it will work and see just how effective it's got the potential to be. Some distance to go yet, but excellent progress has been made.
Arrow International, a New Zealand-based construction company, were the successful contractors commissioned to build the school. The construction area has been fenced off for security and safety purposes on site. That is also in line with arrangements between the governments.
It's a government project. It's a tripartite arrangement between three parties, and there's agreement in that arrangement that security will be provided for the site. There's a lot of valuable equipment in there. But apart from that, we have a responsibility to make sure that people are safe, and they won't necessarily be safe if they're wandering about on a building site. So that's the rationale behind it.
His Excellency Ross Ardern commended the Niue government for the ground preparation work prior to the construction, highlighting the importance of having a firm foundation. Arrow contractors and local builders have been working around the clock to get this project completed according to schedule.
So they're working Monday to Saturday inclusive to make sure that we hit the target deadlines. The hours are fairly long, but when the Niuean labour force signed up for it, they knew that they were signing up for it, and I think they've been pretty pleased with the returns they're getting. And those that have seen it are really impressed with, one, the size of the school, two, the robust manner in which it's been built. It is up to a force 5 for cyclone management, And thirdly, I think that the space that's available for the school is just tremendous. The veranda areas for the school children to be able to have their lunch when it's raining, the play area that will be in the middle of the quadrant, the assembly area, all of those areas are going to be really, really, really good for use by the students, and they will have a real impact on the effective manner in which education is delivered.
His Excellency Ardern says the aim is to complete the project before the start of the new school year in 2016, and he is confident that the building contractors will be able to meet that target. This education-focused project is expected to improve the quality and safety of education in Niue. Niue Police have received training this week to build their capacity to deal with domestic violence. Domestic violence is a serious violation of human rights, and in the Pacific, studies undertaken indicate that a large portion of those affected are women. This week's training is part of regional support through the Pacific Prevention of Domestic Violence Program. That is a joint initiative by the New Zealand Aid Program, New Zealand Police, and the Pacific Islands Chiefs of Police that aims to build a safer Pacific free from domestic violence. Domestic violence is often seen as a private matter, and often there is a high level of underreporting. There is a lack of recorded statistics, and many incidents do not proceed to prosecution.
The focus of the training is to deal and build the capability around domestic violence investigation, but coupled with that is also increasing the capability in regards to interviewing both witnesses, victims and offenders, so that when the local police are involved in a domestic violence situation, hopefully they get a better understanding of the needs that a victim has, and also as a result of that they produce a better product to the court should someone make a complaint. Reporting is a real difficulty for people, and there are a number of reasons why people don't report. There is a British survey that says that someone will be abused 18 times before they will report. Now that can be through fear of what their family will think, the fact that their husband may be taken away from them, this sort of thing, but there is no reason why anyone should live in an unhealthy environment. What we're trying to do now is, if victims feel comfortable that they will be supported and listened to, if they make a report of family violence and the police are in a better position to understand the situation they're in and provide the support for them after they have reported, that's the goal that we're aiming for.
This training is one way to increase the capabilities of police to provide support to victims. That can often be a challenge, especially in small communities, due to the constraints or lack of support services. In the Pacific, domestic violence has been identified as a priority issue, with a move to develop effective regional partnerships and networking to promote the prevention of domestic violence.
I understand being involved with family violence in New Zealand as an investigator back there. I understand how difficult it can be for people to report and the barriers that are in place, but I always ask myself, why do people need to live in an unhealthy environment? An environment where they're too scared to do anything, where help is available. So if someone is in that situation, they need to speak to someone, maybe a pastor, maybe family or friends, and just start to work down a path of getting a better life for themselves. Today we have a full day's training, and that is focused on taking complaints, understanding a victim's point of view, looking at better ways of interviewing in sensitive situations, and just as I say, increasing the capability of the local police and hopefully giving them some fresh ideas.
This program was initiated to build the capabilities of Pacific Police to prevent or respond effectively to domestic violence. And that concludes our news bulletin for this evening and for this week. We do hope that you enjoy the weekend ahead, especially to those who have made it into the finals for the men's cricket competition. Liku and Mutalo will be battling it out in Liku for first and second, and the villagers of Hakupu and Alufi will be playing in Hakupu this coming Saturday.